So I was thinking about an old saying we have down here. Saying goes, cats rule and dogs drool. And I was thinking about it because I just accepted that as a fact that cats rule and dogs drool. And I never really thought about it. And then I was thinking about it because I saw my cat and I was thinking, she really rules. And she doesn't drool like a dog. And I was thinking, wait a second. Is that really true that cats rule and dogs rule? So the second half we know is true, that dogs drool. That's a fact. Cats do not drool unless there's something wrong with their mouth. So if dogs drool, does that mean they can't rule? Or is the statement that cats rule and dogs rule not excluding that the fact that dogs can also rule? Because it is, I think we can say safely that cats do rule. Because they are pretty cool and they're pretty cute. But let's just throw that away. Let's just throw away the idea that cats rule right now. I know that's going to make you very angry, but just stay with me for a second. So let's say the dogs do drool, which they do. But do we know that because dogs drool, that cats rule? Is that why cats rule? Or do cats rule regardless of whether or not a dog drools? For example, if you have a cat and a dog in a room, and the dog is not drooling, does that mean the cat is not ruling? But what if you, say, throw a tasty treat in there for the dog, and the dog starts drooling? Does that mean the cat now rules? And what if the dog stops drooling? Does the cat not rule now, even though it was ruling just a moment ago? These are some important questions to ask, because would it be surprising to learn that the quote, cats rule and dogs drool, came from a cat? Not just any cat, a talking cat. Does that change your mind? Does that make you think, well, a cat said it, so can we really trust what the cat says to be factual and unbiased? And that's a very good question. Just because a cat says something doesn't automatically make it true. And just because a dog says something doesn't automatically make it dumb. Like, for example, people would say that a dog is smart because you can train them to do things. You can't train cats to do things. But then other people would say that the cat is smart enough not to be fooled into being trained, and it is the dog that is dumb. Because a cat can learn how to open up doors without being trained to do it. So that means cats can learn, and cats can be smart. You don't have to tell a cat, this is how you open up the door, this is the handle. They just watch you use it, and they say that's how they get it. And the only reason they can't open up doors is that the doorknobs are usually round, and so they can't get their paws around it. Now, there are doorknobs that come out and then go across, so it's like a bar, and then if the cat's heavy enough, they can jump on it and bring it down. But if the door doesn't open up on its own, they can't get it open. And I've never seen a dog do that. Never in my life, regardless if they're drooling or not. And it just makes me think that if cats rule even though a dog is not drooling, does that mean a dog can rule? Does it matter if a cat's drooling? It's a tough question. And that's a tough question that we're trying to answer today. But I don't know if I have the answers that you're looking for. Now, the cat who said it didn't like dogs, but after spending time with dogs, she liked dogs. But she never took the quote back. She never said, you know what, I'm wrong. Even though you drool, you still rule. And she, so, what do you guys think? You guys think that cats can rule, even though dogs might not be drooling? Do you think cats don't rule and dogs rule? Because just because the second half of that statement is true doesn't automatically make the first part true. It is entirely possible that cats do not rule, regardless of what a dog's doing at the time. What do you think about what if it's a cat drooling? Does the cat rule when it's drooling? Or does it only rule when it's not drooling? And what about other animals? Is it just cats and dogs that we have to think about? There's chinchillas and rats and mice and snakes and ferrets and rabbits and birds and macaws and parrots and elephants and whales and moose and meese and geese and ox and oxen and cows and bulls. These are all different animals that at certain times might drool and might not be drooling. And they might rule and they might not rule. It makes you think, what other things do you believe that might be wrong? So let's put a thought experiment together. Let's say you're just walking down the road and a cat comes up to you and is drooling all over the place. And then a dog comes over and it's drooling all over the place. Which one of those animals rules at that time? And that's not something I'm going to answer for you. You need to think, if a cat and a dog are drooling, you don't know who these cats and dogs are. They're just a random cat and a random dog coming up to you. And they're drooling, both of them. They're drooling the exact same amount. You don't know why they're drooling. You don't know if they're drooling on purpose. You don't know if they're faking it. All you know is that this cat and this dog came up to you at the same time and they're both drooling. So, do either of them rule? Do just one of them rule? What do you guys think? This is something you need to answer for yourself. I can't tell you the answer because it's up to each person to determine whether or not a cat or a dog can rule depending on the state of their drooling. Now, there was a man I knew a long time ago. He said, cats are pretty cool. And dogs, they bark a lot. And I agree with that thing. I agree with that statement. I agree with that man. You know who that man was? It was me. Do you agree with that statement now? Because I said it? I bet you were saying, yeah, that's a great idea, until I said it. You said, oh no, that's a terrible idea. And just because I said it, does that make it automatically wrong? Just like a cat saying cats rule and dogs rule. Does that make it wrong just because a cat said it? Obviously, cat's going to be biased. Cats are quite biased against anything non-cat. But that doesn't mean they're always wrong. And dogs always try to please. So if a cat asked the dog if it was true, the dog would probably say yes. I agree, because the dog just wants to please the cat. Because the dog doesn't care. The dog probably just doesn't even understand it. Because dogs are not very smart. They're incredibly dumb. They like to eat their own poop. That's how dumb they are. Cats bury their poop. They don't eat it. They don't throw it around. They don't present it as a meal to anybody. Cats are just smarter. So I want you guys to think about the statement, cats rule and dogs rule, and come up with your own idea if that statement is true, and whether or not you believe that cats rule or dogs rule. So next time we will talk about that, and I want to see some people in the comments talking about what we talked about today. All right. Class dismissed.